Hello and welcome to this rotation station where we are going to focus on the I can statement of I can cut and glue strips and shapes. We're going to need the following materials. At your tables, there should be stacks of papers in the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. There will also be some small pieces of black. You will need out of your Go box your scissors and a pencil. And you will also find at your table the glue bottles. These are what we're going to be using today to glue these later on. So you want to make sure to set up your artistic space and make sure you have the things you need. Feel free to pause the video here so that you can collect those things together before watching the rest. Now that you have all your things ready, we are going to begin just with a review of how to hold scissors. Remember, there's usually a smaller hole and a bigger hole. Your thumb goes in the smaller hole, other fingers go in the bigger hole. One tip is if you have trouble controlling your scissors, you can bring one finger out in front and that will help you control where you're open and close and kind of where you're going a little bit better. Another tip is always point the scissors away from you. You will be moving the paper with the other non-cutting hand, but this set of scissors should always be facing away from you. It just makes it a whole lot easier than trying to cut with your hand wrenched towards yourself. So before we start cutting though, we're going to use that pencil. And one tip to be sure that you're able to cut out the shape, the size that you want, we usually start with a pencil. That way there are no surprises and you don't accidentally chop something off or make it too small or too big or not quite the right shape. You draw the shape because you can erase. Once you've cut the paper, you've cut the paper, you're stuck with it. But if you draw it, and I decided I want to make that a little bit bigger, I can erase my two lines that I want to extend out a little bit farther, and I can draw them out a little bit bigger. If I had done that with scissors first, I wouldn't have been able to make the shape bigger. I would have been stuck with what I had. So now I have a shape drawn and I'm ready to cut. You do not have to use every single primary color. You might want to have at least 3 shapes total. If you want to take them all out of the same color of paper, that's okay. One tip to remember there then is if you're going to have more than one shape in one color, do you have enough to save some paper? And maybe I want to add a circle. So I can draw another shape on the same piece of paper, and that way we're not going through quite so much construction paper. It saves on materials, so there's more for everyone to use what they need. So now I have a couple of shapes cut out. I'm not going to do 3 yet. I'm going to let you guys take care of doing all 3 because I want to show you next how to cut strips of paper. You can, of course, take your pencil and draw a line and then cut on the line, though sometimes with strips it is easiest just to go ahead and cut the width that we want using a straight line up from one edge to the other. And you can feel free to make your strips as thick or as thin as you think you might be able to glue down and use. So there I have a couple of strips. Now, we're going to be ready for you guys to remember how to glue these. So remember, when you're using a glue bottle, you're going to twist the orange piece this way so that that little white part goes down inside. We give it a quick squeeze and listen for the whoosh of air. Oh yeah, this one is ready to glue. And then the next most important thing is being able to glue properly and to make sure that I only get glue where I need it. So we want to remember our song, a little dot of glue holds a lot. Just a little dot of glue holds a lot. Just a little bit, just a tiny little dot, just a little dot of glue holds a lot. So you'll notice that I put the dots of glue onto the yellow piece of paper. I didn't add them to the big white paper. That way I know I have glue right where I need it. One on each corner on the edges of this, and that ought to do it just fine. So I'm going to turn it over, place it, and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got a little bit close to the edge there and some squeezed out, and that's okay. You can take your finger and wipe it up and rub it off your finger, or you can use a paper towel to wipe up any extra glue like that. But if your little dots, you notice these didn't have any. That's where those little dots are nice because we have much less mess. Now, if I were to want to glue my strips of paper that I cut in the black, I'm still going to use little dots of glue to hold a lot, and I'm going to spread them all around along my strip. That way I can turn it over. I know I only have glue where I need it, and I can press, hold, and count slowly to 10 in my head. There we go. Now I might be ready to go back and finish my other shapes. I can glue my strips and all these other shapes anywhere where I want to make a nice fun Mondrian inspired collage here. I hope you will have fun with this, and when you are done, here's how you clean up. You're going to put your scissors and your pencil back in your go box. You're going to make sure that glue bottle is twisted closed, standing straight and tall in the bucket like a soldier, and you're going to throw away any scraps that aren't usable. If you have papers that you decided not to use, those can go right back in their color stacks. All right, we'll see you at the next station. Have some fun cutting and gluing.